This is iOS Pop Gaming. Today is President's Day. Now, everyone should know that my motto is know your financial value as an employee. Jaspring Singh, he's my hero, he's my mentor. But I'm not afraid to let financial poor people know what's right and what's wrong. Now, in his post today, he said the majority of people would rather look rich than actually be rich. Don't be like the majority, and I agree with him. I absolutely 100% agree. If you don't have the money to buy something, don't buy it. When you know your financial value as an employee, yeah, there's no 10 steps, 20 steps, 7 steps with multiple parts. No. Now, to steal a phrase from Dave Ramsey, baby step zero, make enough money to cover your necessities. Boom. Boom. Now, I'm in my 40s right now. When I was in my early 20s, I let people fool me off. You didn't need a car. You didn't need a house. You don't need this. You don't need that. Save, invest, plan for the future, plan for the future. And now in my mid 40s, people are asking me now, why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? To disagree with Jasper in saying financially poor people have to look rich. You have to flaunt your money when you're financially poor. A matter of fact, I hate it when financially rich people say that rich people do not need school. That means my bad financially poor people don't need school. Well, you didn't need school to be rich. Well, guess what? In school, it's to be taught the difference between wisdom, knowledge, and experience. Now, I'm not going to go into details in this video. Please like and subscribe so I can give you my financial knowledge. Now, when rich people say that, it's absolutely correct. You don't need school to start a business. You don't need school to be rich. A matter of fact, I remember when I was a child and seeing these guys in the street corners, thinking, oh, a matter of fact, I had a friend of mine. If you heard the story before, I always have new subscribers. In my youth, I'll never forget passing, the local, the local corner, going to school or work. And guess what? A matter of fact, well, the corner I used to walk by, yeah, boy, anybody could just go there and sell their whatever. They didn't have to worry about getting shoot up. A matter of fact, the main guy that ran the place, his thing was, he don't care. He just come. And anyway, long story short, I had a friend of mine in the corner, and guess what? He was the worst drug dealer. And I'll never forget. One day I pulled him to the side. Hey, go get a job. Get a job. Look at the others on the screen. Yeah, everybody, all his coworkers, to use the word loosely, everybody else in the corner have their Lexus, Beamer, Benz, all these and roll out to the side, wearing their 10, 20, 30, $50,000 Rolexes, got the girls, got it going on. And he was, financially he was struggling. But he told me that he taught me about potential. And he told me that in a good day, he can make more money in one day than I'll make in a year. Matter of fact, again, I kind of go into details. I don't want to be sued or slandered. But the moral of the story is you don't need an education to be rich. Now, going back to Just Spring Sing's comment, I'm going to have to agree to disagree. Again, that's why financially rich people talk about building your what? Yeah, again, when you have the wealth already, now what I have to do when you look at, unfortunately, when you're financially poor, you gotta look rich. Matter of fact, if you heard the story before, I do apologize. I remember when I was a young man, got a job that doubled my gross salary a year. Matter of fact, I was a Steve Harvey senior. First paycheck, I bought 10 dress pants, 20 dress shirts. I made sure each dress shirt was a different color. Bought a couple ties. The only reason why I remember, because I used to wear the tie around my neck without, yeah, I wouldn't even tie. I just have the tie around my neck in the long sleeve ties. Just have it around my neck, wouldn't even self tie it up, just have it there. And I'll never forget. A few months later, yeah, man, I was, yeah. In 6 months, I moved up the ladder, and I'll never forget. I was standing next to one of my superiors, and someone made a comment, a little joke, hee hee, to my superior. Oh, you're subordinate doing better, looking better than you, man. Your subordinate gonna take your job soon, man. You look out, hee hee, and I laugh. Yeah, I laugh. I stupidly laugh. And the next day, you know, first thing I did, oh man, you know, the dress code is business casual. What you always, and I told him, hey, yeah, young adult. I love working here. My goal is to move the corporate ladder. This is what people wear. It's like, oh, in your position, it's business casual. Or you can't get the work done. I mean, I've been with getting my work done. And I'll never forget, the guy say, hey, go clean the basement. The room that he called the basement. And you know what? Clean the basement, come back, spotless. Yeah. And, I went to the bathroom, had a paper towel wiping my hand, walking back to the office. And the guy was like, you don't do no work. Yes, I did. He said, follow me. I follow him. He went in the basement. Oh, you think you're smart, eh? We have 4 basements. Every day this week, okay, cool. Day 1, did they mess up my clothes? Day 2, they make up my clothes. Day 3, did they mess up my clothes? Day 4, the guy was like, oh, we're going to clean it together. So he went in the room that he called the basement. I won't go into the details. I don't want to get slandered. I know the first thing he did? He was looking around, moving, pushing back. What are you doing? What are you doing? In hindsight, and guess what? He found the dirtiest box and threw it at me. And I caught it, put it aside. And long story short, he keep throwing back to when he thought I was distracted, when he thought I was off guard, and he finally did it. He caught me off guard, threw a box, dirty my shirt, and he just walked away. Walked away. Oh yeah, you could do the rest. I'm like, dude, you said you want to, and you know what? Anyway, cleaned out the basement, the fourth room we call the basement. When I go back to my desk, everybody, oh look at you, hee hee hee, look at you, hee hee hee, ha hee hee. And at the end of my shift, my boss was like, I hope you learn your lesson, huh? Business casual, man, business casual. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now, in hindsight, I should not have listened to him. You know why? Because years later, when a managerial position came up, I applied. And this is, you know what the moral story is? One of the higher ups came to me. Oh yeah, man, you applied, but according to the law, you have to give me an interview, and this is your interview. We're not gonna choose you. Look how you dress. You come in here dressing like a bum. No, I'm not. I was repeating what the previous superior said. Oh, it's business casual. Yeah, man. But for this managerial position, you have to dress sharp. And I don't. Yeah, I used to dress sharp. You remember? You were here. Now going back, some financially poor people have no choice. Sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. As a matter of fact, if you're frugal, you can look rich without spending all that money. Now, on my channel, what I preach about is knowing your financial value as an employee. The pandemic should have woken everyone up. Everybody up. Okay? Know your financial value. Value. Profit is equal to revenue minus expenses. Nobody, no employer will ever pay you what you're worth. Now, today's President's Day. President's Day. Now, I know a lot of people are poor not because of an expense problem, but a revenue problem. Now, this is going to be a long video. Please like and subscribe, share. If you disagree if you agree or disagree, just let me know. Whichever medium you're seeing this on, send me a like, agree, disagree. Start the conversation. Today is President's Day, and guess what? As an employee, how does it matter to you? Some employees some employees have a job, some employees have a career. No, there are many differences between a job and a career. But guess what? In most jobs, you don't get paid holidays. If you don't work, you don't get paid. Now, if you have a career, again, in most careers, you get paid. Paid holidays, which today is a holiday. Now, I remember when I was a young adult, and my problem wasn't an expense problem. My problem was a revenue problem. Today's President's Day. Da, 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 da. And I remember having a budget, keep a check on my revenue, hee hee, and not thinking, it's President's Day, I won't get paid, I need to adjust my budget. And guess what? When you don't plan, and then you have to borrow money to compensate, and people say that you have an expense problem. Wake up today. Financially poor employees, wake up. Wake up. As a matter of fact, I keep telling people, when a financially rich man tells a financially poor man you have an expense problem, it means this. It implies that you make more money than your necessities, and you take that money and spend elsewhere. That's what that means. You have an expense problem, you're bad with money, etc., etc. It implies that you make more money than your necessities and you spend it elsewhere. That's what it means. That's what it implies. This President's Day, financial people need to wake up, learn how to communicate. When you ask your employer for a raise, a matter of fact, to go off on another tangent, some employers actually go to school, get a business degree, business management, or etc., to learn how to manage people without knowing without knowing the job. You can get a management degree, and you should be able to manage anyone. That's why some leaders who don't know anything about they're getting paid to manage you, and they don't even need to know how to do your job. It's like in the TV shows and movies when somebody says, when a leader says, "Hey, you have 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to get this done." No, it takes an hour. Get it done in 30 minutes. Oh, that's impossible. You're fired if you don't get it done in 30 minutes. And guess what? You come back 45 minutes later, job complete. And guess what? You win. By bad, you lose. Your employer. Matter of fact, people that go to business, I'll never forget. I used to work for college, and I'll never forget. One semester, I had to set up for a psychology 600 course, master's level, and I'll never forget. The first day of the semester, my superior was like, "Hey, just want to warn you, up in. We've been having power outages." Okay. "Hey, I just warn you, the battery backup in this particular room isn't working. When the power fluctuates, everything is going to lose, and you have to run to the room and turn back on the equipment." And I only remember because every time the power fluctuates, they will call me saying, "Turn back on the equipment." I'll never forget. One day, then the professor, "Hey, professor, when the equipment come on, if the power goes, as soon as you come on, all you gotta do is hit this button. Boom. You see, all this equipment is hooked up to this long power strip, and all you gotta do, click this button, and all the equipment is gonna turn back on." And I'll never forget, the professor I'm not tech savvy, and he will call a student, "Hey, all you gotta do is hit the button." Then the next time power go out, come back, "Hey, it's funny, huh? How every time the power goes out and we call to the room." Anyway, long story short, psychology 600 course. And I learned so much. I learned so much. As a matter of fact, at one point, I was told to just sit in. Had so much power interruptions, power fluctuations. Nobody didn't want to hit a button. And the moral of the story is, he taught his students I'll never forget. In one of his classes, he told the class, "Don't trust your employees. Your employees will lie to you. When your employees ask for a raise, they don't need a raise." I was like, huh? When your employee say they're going to take an off to do something, you tell them 30 minutes. Huh? And I thought to myself, what kind of... Oh, yeah. Okay. It was until years later, okay, yeah, I understand now. As a matter of fact, the first class, the first class, the professor asked all the students how many students are business majors, and more than half the class put their hands up. How much of you are psychology courses? Only a few raise their hand, etc., etc. And after the after that, he said, "Okay, most of you are in the business management profession. This is a great course." And I'm like, why did he do that? And it was until anyway. Long story short, there are a lot of leaders that actually go to school. They don't need to manage. Well, they don't need to do the job. They don't need. They don't know. They don't need to do the job or know how to do the job. They're just there to manage you. As a matter of fact, looks matter. Looks do matter. Looks matter. Now I know a lot of people. Matter of fact, I know a lot of financially poor people will never understand this. You will never pay a custodian worker wearing jean pants and a t-shirt. You never pay him the same amount as a president, as a CEO, and that's okay. That's okay. But again, today's President's Day. I just wanted to talk about this post. The majority of people would rather look rich than actually be rich, and I'm just gonna let Just Spring sing. No, some financial people have no choice. In some professions, you have to look rich. You have to look presentable. No, I'm not saying to go out to your. I'm not saying to go out to Lululemon and to the Louis Vuitton store. As a matter of fact, I'll not forget. A couple of years ago, I was at work, and everybody leaving, and I had my Price Mart backpack on. One person, had a Louis Vuitton backpack. The next person had a Mary Kay bag. Another person had a DNKY and Michael Kors and all these. And I'm like, and I made a joke of what MK stands for. Oh, you stupid man. It's Michael Kors, man. Oh, wow. And when you told me how much the bag cost, I'm like, why would you buy that such an expensive bag? You know that coworker told me, you make the famous knock. You make twice, well, at the time, you make twice my gross salary. And look at you. You got nothing. You wear you wear no name Payless bags. No name this, no name that. Clothes from the Salvation Army. No, I don't. As a matter of fact, people watch you. Oh yeah, I forget. I remember you buying your clothes from Kmart, man. And everybody had a good old laugh. But guess what? Looks matter. Dress for success. Matter of fact, as Richard would say, build your wealth first. Build your wealth. So fake it till you make it. Now you could look rich without spending the money. Get a nice. As a matter of fact, I advise rich people, hey, as some people will say, you go, you do like Steve Harvey. You buy 10, 20 dress shirts, long sleeve dress shirts. Don't iron them yourself. Take them to the dry cleaners. Take some hangers just in case. Get them professionally steam dry and pressed. Make sure they add the creases to it. Look, hey, get your 10 dress pants. Do the same thing. You get them professionally dressed. Boom. Professionally pressed. Get yourself a nice pair of shoes. 2 to 3 pairs of nice shoes. Your clothes should be an investment. Matter of fact, start the conversation. Share, like, and subscribe on whichever platform this video arrives in. Da 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 da. New Financial as an employee. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.